mommy's boy actually. So
let's go back. A little bit earlier.
Okay.
What would you say excited you most about politics or about leadership, and what would you say scared you? I don't know if I can put most about leadership.
Yeah.
Politics.
What scares me in politics is actually disappointing people. You know, making promises and not being able to deliver. You know, those promises.
Wow.
That's what always scares me, and then that has always motivated me in a way not to always make promises.
Wow.
Yes, I always do what I can do. I tell you what I'm capable of delivering.
Wow.
Yes, and then for me to say, and also to your list, you said what motivates
Yes, yes.
Wow. Well, in politics, I've always had this energy to in representing others, you know, standing in and then always bringing impact in every society or in every compound I find myself. Okay. And so I've always found interest in politics. And so it's just constant learning. I've always been seeking and then, consulting from past leaders and then also trying to find some sort of encouragement and then also learning a few things just to make sure that I'm always delivering right and making the right efforts for everyone as well.
Wow. Now, one thing common about young persons in politics is they do face resistance, doubt, and discouragement. When they start, even to extend to some feel like, oh, this politics thing is not for me. Did you feel that way at any point, and how did you manage that?
Well, I don't actually. Yeah, at some point in this, what I've learned in these few years is that. At some point you always be discouraged. You always feel yourself doubting yourself in a way.
Yeah.
But then I've always had people around me who always keeps motivating me.
Wow.
And then one thing I'm proud of is that I actually kept my parents involved in this. They were well aware that I'm engaging myself in politics.
Wow.
And so at any time I could always call them. I'm a mommy's boy actually. So So you find me in stressful moment actually making a few calls with my mom.
Wow.
They always have this angelic voice of calming ourselves down. So yes, I always find encouragement and then words of upliftment from my parents and a few meaningful conversations with people that I like as well.
So I was talking to one respected senior colleague, earlier today about youth politics, and he gave me something to ponder, and I felt I need to bring it on here so that we can reflect on it together. Right? Do you think young politicians today are under pressure to deliver rather than to grow? And would you say it is the youth that caused it themselves? By way of how they seek the leadership positions during campaign and all of that? Or is it some sort of societal bullying to scare the youth off, these leadership roles? Or is just part of, the bigger systemic failure in our political space?
Well, I actually have been addressing this issue for quite some time now. Ever since I stepped into student politics on UDS campus here, I've realized that gradually each year students always lose interest in student politics. They don't participate in student politics, all because we sometimes come up with big promises and then beautiful promises, and then once we get elected to office, we end up doing the right opposite or doing nothing at all and moving on with it, and that makes us suffer with the upcoming. And so I would say that young politicians are actually learning this politics in the wrong way. I think there's a need for us to adapt to new strategies and techniques on how to actually deliver to students. Okay, I believe that there are other ways that we can actually campaign and then deliver our message to students, not just to make promises that are overwhelming and that are also beyond your limit. There are actually some things that Vice Chancellor himself cannot do. And for you to have a student come into your class and promising they are going to do the exact thing is actually just damaging the system.
So is it simple to assume that we or the student politicians themselves put themselves under that pressure.
Yes, we put ourselves under that pressure.
Wow.